Hello, and welcome to the Round 10 review. I have not done a review before. It's normally tips, but as some of you might be able to tell, I am in a different environment. I moved out of home. This is my current home, and I just have not had time to make a tip video. I do have time to make a round review video though. Man, it feels good being a Melbourne supporter. When I tell you I was listening to it at work and then I'm trying to conceal my anger, I hop in the car. I have to listen to it through KO. I'm not listening to the radio. I don't do that. I get, 15 minutes away from home. The internet cuts. There's no signal. I'm in the dark. I can't check my phone and drive. That's illegal. I get home. I check my phone. We're winning. I'm about to make dinner. I go, sorry, my lovely boyfriend that I love with all of my heart and soul. We have to put dinner on hold. I need to watch the last 5 minutes of this game at the Gabba. I cannot move on. And so we sat on this very couch and watched Melbourne win. At the Gabbatron, the Gabbaseum. It's like ecstasy. I've never done one of these before, so this is going to be a learning curve. Anyway, so on Thursday night we had Gold Coast versus Hawthorn, and Gold Coast won by 8 points at TIO Stadium in Darwin. I'm honestly not surprised. I do think that Gold Coast is a league above Hawthorn. I say that like we didn't just lose to Hawthorn. But honestly, I still consider Gold Coast contenders for the flag. I don't think that they're as good as I thought they were initially. I think they're like top 4 potential. Hawthorn played some okay football. They did. They played some pretty good football. I just think they lack refinement, experience, which is strange because so does Gold Coast. They have no proper experience, but Damien Hardwick has transformed the Gold Coast Suns into a very scary team. A team I fear. I don't want to verse Gold Coast. I was doing something on Thursday because I do not remember watching that game, but that's what I've gathered. Friday night, I did watch this game, Sydney Carlton. I love it when Carlton lose, man. Yeah, look, I think Sydney were just the better team. Carlton have a hoodoo at the SCG. They have had that hoodoo, I think, since 1996. It's just a venue that they cannot play at. I was talking to one of my co-workers today who supports Carlton, and we were talking about how Carlton trading Kennedy instead of Hewitt was a horrific decision, and it is just reflected completely. I think Matt Kennedy had a lot more impact, and I think if they still had him, that game would have been either won by Carlton or the margin would have been considerably smaller. Maybe a goal instead of 16 points. Carlton just looked fumbly and they were all over the place. Like, they rely too heavily upon like their stars. There's no diversity around the ground. If Cripper isn't playing well, all of Carlton shit the bed. Anyway, and then Collingwood beat Adelaide. That was a good game. That was a great game. Was I happy with the result? No. But look, I have no real comments on that game. It was just a good game. An enjoyable game. And then the 2 games after, like, Adelaide Collingwood finished. I'm like, wow, this is a real this is a real like trendsetter for the rest of the weekend. And then immediately after, fucking Geelong pummel Port by 76 points. I had to turn off that game. I turned it on, I immediately turned it off. Port just suck. They suck. I can't tip them. One week they're good, the next week they're shit. Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. And then Freo fucking went to Sydney and said, fuck this, we're winning. Bro, What possessed you? That's another one. I can't tip Freo because what do you mean you're going to go to NG Stadium and just start fucking left, right, guiding people? You can't play at Optus. You're picking NG to play it? Be for real. And, you know, GWS should have won. Like, they really, really should have won. But I don't think... Yeah, Hogan kind of got suppressed the whole game. Like, 1-1, 11 disposals. It's not his best. I fear that if Jesse Hogan doesn't kick free, GWS just can't win a game. I'm just seeing the pattern appear before my eyes. Like, what do you mean? This is a team of superstars. And you gotta rely on the Hulk star. Someone else kick a fucking goal. Someone else line up and just fucking kick it. Fucking team of talent. And you're losing to Fremantle. The last match of Saturday night. Another smashing. The Doggies beat Essendon by 91 points. Fuck. I've been a Doggies praiser since round 1. Round 1, I tell you, I've been like, yeah, the Doggies are good. Who gives a fuck that Bond's injured? The Doggies are good. And I had people telling me I was delusional. That I was crazy. Does this look crazy to you? Sportsbet is lucky I don't invest in gambling. They're lucky because... What? Kennedy had a banger. Bailey Dale breaking a record. Granted, he was just kicking it out of the fucking... just kicking it out of the square. But... broke a record. Riley West had a game. Fucking, you're too short. That was mental. Libba had another game of life. Like, they didn't even need Bont to do that. Granted, Bont kicked 2 around the body snaps. Incredible stuff for a bloke that's pretty tall. It just, Essendon are just shit, and I can't believe Melbourne lost to them. Literally, they only have Zach Merritt. 2 Metros Petros is kinda washed. He's kinda shit. Ben Mackay still has the same problems he had at the start of the year. That man gets paid $1 million to do this. Like, and then tonight's games. It started this afternoon at the G. Richmond, North Melbourne. And I'm listening to it and I'm going, wow, this is a close contest. Am I surprised? No. I mean, a little bit, because we got pummeled by North by 10 goals. And now North are about to lose to Richmond. And then enter Chloe Pink's husband, Toby. Game-saving mark. Richmond did it last week. The game-saving tackle. And someone somewhere said something. And Karma said, fuck you. Game-saving mark, Toby Pink. Should it have been that close? Absolutely not. Like, if Melbourne are losing to North by 10 goals, so should Richmond. But that is the first time North have won there since 2016? I don't know, they haven't won there in fucking years. Because North have not been good in years. But they've broken the hoodoo. Maybe they start winning the game of the night. We've reached the game of the night. Melbourne, Brisbane, the Gabba. Up the D's, up the D's. Man, I'm still on a high. I am just... What do you say? What do you say when you win games you don't expect to win? After we lost to Hawthorn, you know, I'm sitting here, I'm going, yeah, we're back. We're back to being shit. I'm not expecting to win at the Gabba. We can't win at the G. You expect me to win at the Gabba? And then they go out there. And we're down at every quarter, we're down. 3/4 time, Goody and Max have their yapping to the team. Whatever they were yapping about. It fucking worked. Do that every week. If we can just kick straight, I'm going to become insufferable if we kick straight. If we kick straight, I'm going to be just the most annoying person ever. Like, I wasn't even this annoying when we won the flag because it was just expected. And then the third quarter in the grand final happened, and I think all of my adrenaline died because we were just winning. I was more excited when we beat Geelong at Geelong to get the minor premiership than I was when we won the flag because of my adrenaline. Anyway, I had so much adrenaline watching them at the Gabba. I actually could not stop moving on the couch because I was so stressed that in the last minute and a half that would give away a free kick or they'd kick two, because that's the Melbourne way, to lose the game in the dying stages. But we didn't. We held on. If we can do this every week, I'd be pretty rapt, be pretty happy. And then the last game of the week, West Coast, St Kilda. How do St Kilda impress me by being so bad? Lose to West Coast? Everyone was going, West Coast won't win a game this year. It's just impossible for West Coast to win a game, they're kids and they got a new coach and they're just shit. St Kilda said, I'll take the bullet. I'll do it. Did they just not get off the plane? I didn't even get to watch all of it because I was too busy watching Melbourne. But the last quarter and a bit that I watched, were St Kilda present? Where were they? And it's not like they got beaten by a couple points. They got smashed. St Kilda had more disposals, more kicks, more handballs, more clearances, more stoppage clearances, more contested possessions and more uncontested possessions, more marks and more contested marks. Those statistics should mean that you win. I love it when St Kilda lose. Actually, I think my week is going really well because St Kilda and Carlton lost. It really would have been quite elevated if Collingwood also lost. I think that my week would have gone from here to here, but beggars cannot be choosers. 2 of 3 is not too bad. But if anyone did end up watching the West Coast St Kilda game and stayed to the end when they were interviewing Oscar Allen, he made a very touching tribute and reasoning about Adam Selwood, who did recently pass away. Vale Adam Selwood. Yeah, he unfortunately passed away yesterday. So I think part of the reason that West Coast put so much heart and soul into that game was to honour Adam Selwood. And that's what Oscar Allen was kind of saying. And it is heartbreaking to see players feeling like they can't talk to people and taking their own lives. So I think that West Coast shedding light on that today, even when they're talking to the journos, is a great thing for the game. I'm glad that West Coast, if they were going to put their heart and soul out for a game, that it was for mental health and it was for a player who had passed recently. I think that if they were going to win a game, I would have wanted them to win this one. But yeah, that's this week. That was AFL this week. Boy, is next week going to be a week. We're opening with the Bailey Smith Cup, Geelong versus the Doggies. So stay tuned for that. Thank you so much for joining me. And also thank you so much for all of the support on my videos, AFL related or not. A couple of my videos have blown up recently, which is going to grow. So thank you so much, and I hope that your team won this week. I'm not going to say what I think, actually. But until I see you again, bye.